This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
PNG NRI presents Elections Observation Report. Security Operations Debriefing Lay. And praise on PNG Port's 30-year Port Infrastructure Master Plan. Good evening, you're watching National EMTV News. I'm Grace Papiali. Thank you for joining us. The local and international general election 2022 observers stated that the 2022 national general election has continued a trend of deterioration in the quality of elections in PNG. Transparency International PNG has recommended that PNG need to focus on promoting transparency and integrity throughout the entirety of the 5-year electoral cycle to improve the conduct of national elections.
Transparency International PNG works to uphold the integrity of the electoral processes and believes that citizens need vital election information to be prepared to make informed choices. The Deputy Director under Partnership and Policy TI-PNG, Uembari Iowa, who presented the report, stressed that if there is less corruption in elections, the outcome will have integrity. TI-PNG and other 22 election observers reported a number of issues for all provinces in the country. However, in moving forward, key recommendations were made for the PNG Electoral Commission to have a 5-year communications plan and formalize provincial election steering committee functions. A recommendation was also made for committee funding through the national budget for the entire 5-year election cycle and a full tabled report on the conduct of the 2022 national general election in Parliament.
Do not sell yourself short and go for substantive electoral processes because the Prime Minister says, well, that's the best we could do. Or the electoral manager says, that's the best we can do given the budget and the time constraints. That's not acceptable. If you diminish your own rights and expectations as a citizens, they will not care about your rights and expectations for the next elections.
Transparency International PNG will launch the full elections report next month. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
The PNG National Research Institute, PNG NRI, presented its findings and recommendations for the 2022 national general election based on 6 provinces in the Highlands Province. The PNG NRI Research Fellow Jeremy Goro presented the election observation report stating that there was not enough manpower for security issues as polling officials left their posts for their safety, leaving the ballot boxes behind.
The National Research Institute Council sanctioned observation for 2022 national general election with funding sourced from the Fed. In the presentation, the research fellow highlighted that most candidates were not endorsed by political parties and only a few women candidates contested in the Highlands region. He said major political parties held rallies in central towns like Goroka and Mount Hagen. Campaign houses were common and served as meeting points for candidates and their supporters.
Slow and late start, so the logistical arrangement was problem a little bit. So on the polling day, most teams arrived at 1 o'clock, and people start voting. Instead of 1 day polling, this shifted the polling time to 2 days. So they vote here from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, the rest, and then in the morning they completed. Double and multiple voting because of the common rule issues. People just line up, vote, come back, line up again, vote, because and also due to non-use of the indelible ink. So people just free walking in, walking out, walking in, walking out.
Goro mentioned that it was observed that candidates and supporters were giving money to voters to vote for them on polling day. Extra ballot boxes were shared among the candidates and unfair distribution of primary votes. He said block and control voting was evident. PNG NRI report recommends that timely update of common roll and verification is important for integrity. It is also recommended that an increase in the presence of security personnel during polling and counting is required.
a need for a number of electoral commissioners. In line with what Dr. said, we also feel that we should need at least 3 to 5 members in the electoral commission. So in saying, whenever there's a decision to make, we know there's an IDAC there, but in the IDAC, we should have electoral commissioners, maybe from Attorney General, Ombudsman Commission, or from private citizens, rep like Church Council or Business Council. So we should have a group of electoral commissioners who make decisions.
The report concludes that poor planning of the polling dates resulted in many illegal actions by candidates, voters, supporters, and election officials. Esther Gane, National EMTV News.
Joint security forces comprising of the Royal PNG Constabulary, PNG Defence Force, PNG Correctional Services, PNG Australia Policing Partnership, and key stakeholders have convened in Lae, Morobe Province, for a debrief to chart a positive way forward for better improved security operations in the future.
The 3-day conference saw in attendance Minister for Internal Security and Bougainville Regional Member Peter Tiamalili Jr. and Secretary to the Prime Minister's Department, Ivan Pomaleu. During his opening remarks, Police Commissioner David Manning said after any major operation, debriefs are a critical part of the security's performance. Commissioner Manning alluded that it allows the force to assess respective capabilities and capacities to support any major operations moving forward. Commissioner Manning told the participants that they need to ensure they will remain effective in what they do daily. This is to give the police force a chance to succeed come the 2027 national general election and issues of national concern like the recent ethnic clashes in the nation's capital. Manning made these remarks in light of the recent call by Prime Minister James Marape. He said the Prime Minister's call is a call to action of the police force and the Royal PNG Constabulary will respond to this call. This Joint Security Force Conference ends tomorrow. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
PNG Ports Corporation Limited Board Chairman Kepas Wali has reflected on the significant milestone the corporation has achieved during the year. That was during the 51.3 million kina check presentation of dividend payment yesterday at the Kumul Consolidated Holdings head office in Port Moresby.
We're expecting
The board chairman of PNG Ports, while delivering his reflection on another significant milestone achievement, which is the launching of PNG Ports' 30-year Port Infrastructure Master Plan, the first for any SOE in the country, that attracted a 1.4 billion kina funding from the Australian government through the Australian Infrastructure Financing Facility for the Pacific to upgrade selected ports. This funding represented the single largest undertaking by any government, company or organization in the Pacific.
We're expecting another major successful year for ports, so we're expecting a major increase in the net profit.
Minister for State Enterprises William Duma shared his sentiments.
Very recently, we witnessed the launching of Ports 30-year master plan, and at the same time, the announcement by both Ports Corporation and the Australian government of the 1.5 billion kina financing package, the infrastructure financing package for ports, where our 15 or 16 ports right throughout the maritime provinces will be upgraded and will have new wharves, so to speak. Some will have more upgraded wharves, some will have completely new wharves. That's a good, a success story. Never been done before. All at the back of a well thought out 30-year master plan.
Deputy Speaker of Parliament Connie Iguan presented the 2021 Judges Report on the floor of Parliament last week. The annual report contains the work of the National Judicial System for last year, with such recommendations as to improvements and a way forward. Following the presentation on the floor of Parliament, the contents of the report is now available to the general public.
As the 11th Parliament convened for the second sitting early last week, following questions without notice, the Deputy Speaker of the National Parliament and Member for Makam, Connie Iguan, presented the Annual Judges Report 2021 to the Members of Parliament.
I present the report by the judges on the work of the National Judicial System 2021.
The presentation of the 2021 Judicial Annual Report from the Office of the Chief Justice was presented to the Governor-General Grand Chief, Sir Bob Dadai, at Government House early last month by Justice Eleanor Spatari, who was acting as Chief Justice at the time in the absence of Sir Gibbs Salika. As stipulated under Section 187 of the Constitution, which requires the judges to give to the head of state for presentation to the Parliament an annual report on the work of the national judicial system, with such recommendations as to improvement as they think proper. This was highlighted in an earlier interview with Justice Eleanor Spatari.
It covers various things like our judicial work, number of cases being filed, being processed through the system and through the courts, and mechanisms that's used, assisting us. The facilities, the resources, it all covers those, and what was and what has been and where we're going.
The report was not furnished to the general public last month when presented to the Governor-General, as explained by Justice Eleanor Spatari. The contents of the judge's report was not made available until the judge's report was presented by the Speaker of National Parliament for presentation on the floor of Parliament.
It's not, possibly not as comprehensive as you would have liked it. It captures the gist of what we're doing, everything. So, but I'll commend it, and it will make interesting reading when it becomes a public document. Hopefully, to be presented this month, next month, as soon as it's now in the Governor General's hands.
The Annual Judicial Report for 2021, its contents and its findings, including recommendations, is now available for public consumption. Rocky Iso, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. More stories when we return. Welcome back to National EMTV News. The Investment Promotion Authority celebrated their 30th anniversary yesterday at the Hilton Hotel in Port Moresby. The organization was established in 1992 and has reached its 30th anniversary this year.
The celebration commenced with an opening prayer by the Acting Registrar of Companies, Ms. Harriet Kokiva. IPA Board Chairman Leon Baskins, in his opening remarks, highlighted what the Investment Promotion Authority has been doing and what steps they are taking moving forward.
The board comprises of the two engines of any economy, the public and private. And since day one, we've seen that really functioning well. We have private sector people sitting on the board. We also have public sector sitting on the board. And over the years, we've really seen some really fantastic contributions from both sectors of the economy. And that's, like I said, for any economy to take off and realize its true potential is those two reps from those two engines of any economy.
Ambassador Hyven Pomaliu shared his experience he had with IPA for more than 20 years before joining the Prime Minister's department.
But we need to be thinking about what else our regional teams can do. The international promotional landscape may have changed. What is it that we can do to upscale our promotional efforts to achieve the outcomes that have specific and measurable results for our country?
He further says in his term, they developed a human resource development policy to allow staff to work together. Minister Hamuli, in his speech, thanked Prime Minister James Marape for trusting him and giving him the position which IPA comes under.
To the Prime Minister, the Honorable James Marape, for the trust placed on me to continue to lead the ministry after the announcement of the new cabinet in August this year.
Amuli also thanked all the long-serving staff of IPA for bringing the organization thus far and described IPA as one of the top-performing agencies in the country.
We were there when it all started back in 1992. Some of you have been with the IPA for all your life. And I make mention of the current deputy chairman, or board chairman, Mr. Phil Franklin. Thank you for your commitment to IPA and to this country. And one of those very long-serving staff of the IPA, Ambassador Pamelio.
He says he is pleased to know that IPA does self-auditing and self-financing and has its own financial accounting system. The program concluded with awards to long-serving staff of IPA, who were Ambassador Ivan Pomaliu and Phil Franklin, who is the Deputy Board Chairman for Investment Promotion Authority. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
Local residents in villages of Community Mine Continuation Agreement, or CMCA, villages in Western Province have been urged to take ownership of vital infrastructures being delivered in the community. This is to ensure all community members are being served regarding different life skills training for a better future.
Speaking at the launching of 3 new community learning centers in Central Middlefly Villages and Sukifly Gogo Trust region respectively, Chief Executive Officer of Oktedi Development Foundation, Mr. Havini Vira, encouraged locals to take care of the buildings opened in their villages this month. He says such buildings would help individuals to be active participants in life skills training such as baking, sewing and leadership trainings.
Work partnership on them all. Tromestone and the house, and no copy one black something. Think steam, not smoking drag all the time, no copy one black something. We need to open our eyes. We will go nowhere without partnership.
School children in the community have also been encouraged to participate in activities staged by the women's group that would equip them with basic life skills described to be essential for development as individuals. Executive Manager Program Services of Oktedi Development Foundation, Mr. Eric Kuman, adds leaders, Middlefly Women and Children Association, including youth, to take ownership and take care of assets in the community.
You yet must protect him, Despla. No can throw my stone igolo Despla. Me leslo arim one bla stone me brook him luvos blo Despla. You use him because Desla ino blow TDF. M blow U plus 6 plus community inside long Middlefly.
Jim John, National EMTV News.
Impacted communities of the Morata 1 new block eviction gathered today, appealing to the national government and other agencies for a relocation plan as they continue to struggle since the commencement of the eviction on the 12th of this month.
People impacted by the mass eviction at Morata 1 in the nation's capital are still near the surrounding communities, uncertain as to where to go and what to do. According to the association leader, despite the court order being obtained on the 15th of October to hold off the eviction process, the eviction went ahead until midday yesterday. 6 churches within the area were demolished and some people claimed that their properties were destroyed, leaving them with nothing.
More than 2,000. Big church. Building him silabandap. Or children shelter lohabia all housing Friday.
Chairman of the New Block Association highlighted today that since the eviction, residents are struggling to survive.
Company and government must supply Kagelomipla. Intel at the same time, who said you, and in donors, who said you like helping me like OC8 or some foreign countries where you someone and me Karim Zambla food supply come because you me, I mean, natural disaster. It's a man-made disaster.
He went on to say that many lived on the land for many years and it will be difficult to get back to their villages as they will have no land to settle on. He said the government must come up with a relocation plan for them.
Now it's 7 days or 5 days go finish. So now me like appeal news na to go sem. This is a company tomorrow court no me plan ba on court yet but decide. But now from here and go yet you must find one relocation plan blah blah. Now you must give them the legal money to move him out.
In the meantime, the matter will return to court tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. for inter-party hearing. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
As a way of targeting crime hotspots in the National Capital District, a 6-week combined security force operation will begin soon. This was said by Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police, Donald Yamasombi.
Following the dissatisfaction expressed by Prime Minister James Marape on lawlessness in NCD, Police Commissioner David Manning appointed Acting Deputy Commissioner Donald Yamasombi to support the Divisional Commander for NCD and Central Anthony Wagambi Jr. to fight crime in the city. Yamasombi says resources will be made available for the operation to be carried out. The hotspots will be targeted in the coming 6 weeks operations. Yamasombi further added that suspects apprehended during this operation will be carefully profiled. This means all the necessary details for the suspects, like fingerprints and photographs, will be recorded to help the work of police in the future. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
More than 12,000 people across 20 communities in Morobe Province will now have better health standards and livelihood opportunities as a result of official opening of new solar system and water, sanitation and hygiene facilities. The facilities were opened today by the Australian High Commissioner to PNG, John Philp.
Australian High Commissioner to PNG, His Excellency John Philp, joined the community in Nasing, Finsafen district of Morobe Province at the opening ceremony. The new wash facilities in 20 communities across the districts of Finsafen, Makam, Tewai Siasi, Ion, Bulolo and Nawai include gravity-fed water supply for the communities, 80 laundry and shower areas, and 80 latrines separate for males and females. In partnership with the Environmental Health Development Agency, a 3.9 million kina grant through Incentive Fund helped to construct the new facilities. In addition to the wash facility, a 1.8 million kina Powerium community grant was also provided. Local communities supplied labor and transport for the projects, ensuring the skills and understanding for the maintenance of the infrastructure is kept close to the projects. His Excellency John Philp said he was hugely impressed at the contributions and commitment from the participating communities across Morobe and remains confident that the benefit of these new facilities will be felt for years to come. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nasfund market report, the kina closed unchanged at $0.2840 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.2765 $0.4357 Australian dollars, $0.2735 euro, 40.93 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York closed, gold, coffee, cocoa and copra closed lower, palm oil closed higher, crude oil is trading lower, copper closed higher. On the stock market, the Dow Jones, the ASX 200 and the All Ordinaries are trading higher. You're watching National EMTV News. More stories when we return after the break. You're watching National EMTV News. The Papua New Guinea Christian Professionals Network is a registered association comprising of Christian professionals with the mission to connect, inspire, and empower its members. This year, the association will be hosting an annual Blueprint corporate dinner to raise funds to support its programs next year.
Formerly known as the Tertiary Students Christian Fellowship, the PNG Christian Professionals Network is made up of active members nationwide and abroad. The association runs leadership programs for its members, as alluded to by board member Fiona Pagla today during a media conference.
Our annual Blueprint Dinner is our major fundraising drive. It goes towards our programs, our various leadership programs. We have a CPN Connect that brings together all the families.
The Christian Professionals Network Association will be hosting its annual Blueprint Corporate Dinner primarily to raise funds to support its programs. Events leading up to the corporate dinner will include a leadership conference a day prior to the corporate dinner, as Ferguson Ronesfa elaborates further.
Also during the days and evenings we have conference.
The guest speaker to this corporate dinner will be Dr. Eric Kwa, Secretary of Justice and Attorney General, and he will be speaking about authentic leadership. The PNG Christian Professionals Network mission is to connect, inspire, and empower its members physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
Outspan PNG Limited has provided training to coffee farmers in the Daulo district in Eastern Highlands Province on how to properly prune coffee trees. The training was conducted today with small block holder coffee farmers of Keremu Anengu Village, Ward 1, Upper Saro LLG, Daulo district.
A recent partnership with the Daulos Commodities Cooperative Society Limited and Outspan PNG Limited saw the training of the farmers today. The main reason for this program is to create sustainable partnership with Outspan Coffee Export Company. Officer in charge of the area coordinates Outspan Agri-Market Focus, attached with Outspan Sustainable Program, said, through this partnership approach, coffee farmers will trade their produce directly with the exporter. They will be registering blockholder coffee farmers and provide technical advice to increase production, improve quality to maximize farmers' income, supply consistently at the farmers' level. Kohe said one thing farmers lack is proper tools to prune coffee trees. He said if the coffee trees are being pruned roughly, it causes the tree not to produce new shoots.
One big impact for this bush knife, na tamiok usage, paipla looking this diwaya. Only when you using bush knife, na tamiok so. And walk the rock, you go down and further inside now, and we go affecting more rooting system blocking.
Coffee farmers in the area said after this training, they now can prune coffee trees properly and take good care of it, as this is their source of income.
Coffee yumi satino se yumi planning guta sol. Yumi lukautim guta sol yumi no sa lukautim gut. Now me looking more Outspan or come training me play me looking. Lo me mas lukautim coffee good. Na coffee ba lukautim me.
Helping me more. Na developing thinking lo me too lo work strong inside lo lo coffee project.
Daulos Commodities Cooperative Society is also working on a coffee nursery shed that will cater for 10,000 poly bags. With the assistance of Coffee Industry Corporation SMED Extension Management Team, they have provided hardware materials to the farmers. The Daulo Commodities Cooperative Society and small blockholder coffee farmers of Keremu and Anengu Village extended their gratitude to the Mara Peroso government for creating the coffee ministry. Cynthia Maku, National EMTV News.
The Western Highlands Governor Wairapa is encouraging election petitioners to withdraw their petitions, as he described election petitions as an expensive practice.
Governor Rapa is urging individuals who have filed election petitions to weigh out and see if filing petitions against sitting MPs are worth the amount of time, effort and money they will be putting into seeing these cases go through. He says 5 years is a short period of time before the next national general election comes around.
petitioner blow me and withdraw him, and me feel him relief through. The same thing. Election petitions now am cost him big time blow you na expensive too. So 5 years, I mean a long time. Please, if you want petitioner, you stop now, you RM me, please. You can withdraw him case blow you. You can at some good understanding one time. All candidate or all member win long him.
Governor Rapo says he has been relieved after his case was withdrawn by the petitioner and says he is confident that he was diligently and lawfully voted into the parliament by his people. Samantha Solomon, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. Trukai Sports is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The start of the 2022 Rugby League World Cup didn't end well for the PNG Kumuls as they lost their first match to the Pacific Brothers from Tonga with a full-time score of 24 to Kumuls 18.
Live now from the dressing rooms.
From the get-go, PNG Kumuls wasted no time only to show their prowess on the field as they took on the Tongan side. With great speed and agility and a quick setup of the ball, Rhys Martin successfully scored the first try for the Kumuls. With conversion successful, Kumuls scored 6 points in the first 7 minutes of the game.
Laboured the short pass is a beauty. Rhys Martin. The Leeds Rhino scores the try. Have a look at the reaction of the Kumuls.
But on the 11th minute, Tonga's Will Penisini scored Tonga's first try, equalising the score 6-all.
Will Penisini. Well, you see one of the young stars on show at the World Cup. Tolu Kola.
Tonga then scored their second try through Moeaki Fatuaki on the 34th minute, which brought their score to 12 points lead ahead of the Kumuls, trailing with 6 points.
Oh, Matungi's ball inside. Well, he's a surgeon. He's cut him open.
4 minutes later, despite the heavy defence from the Kumuls, Tonga proved too strong in their attack to continue their win before Isaiah Katoa scored another try for Tonga, bringing their score to 16 points.
Passage. The 18-year-old scores. It becomes the biggest moment of his life.
But Kumuls, still holding on strong, went heavy on Tonga before Lachlan Lamb penetrated the gap to score his first try and one for the Kumuls that brought the scores to Kumuls 12, Tonga 16.
The punting, what a runner he is, the hooker. The number 9 back to Lamb. Edwin.
Tonga, still leading in the second half, knew exactly what they needed to do to beat the tough Kumuls side and did exactly that by keeping their defence strong. Kumuls' Daniel Russell then scored another try to equalise the score at 18-all.
Tonga offside by about 8 metres. Russell to finish it off. They've scored.
It was one try from the Tongan side that separated the teams, thanks to Keon Ola Matangi, who sealed the deal for the Tongan side to defeat the PNG Kumuls in the final minutes with a successful try.
To the end goal, and they have pulled out a try, and I think you know where.
This ended the game at full-time siren with 24 points in favour of Tonga to Kumuls 18. Godwin Eki, Trukai Sports.
The Northern Suburban Rugby League competition, which started at Bomana in Port Moresby, will play its round 3 matches this Friday.
Despite not having the competition in the last 2 years due to COVID-19, various suburbs in Port Moresby, some clubs have registered more than one team each, where teams have come from places like Moresby Northwest and Northeast, Connie, Gerahu ATS, Boroko 9 Mile and from 17 Mile. With 58 teams registered this year in the Northern Suburban Rugby League competition, teams are mainly made up of young youth many of whom are school leavers. According to the tournament organizers, team numbers are expected to increase from 58 teams once the female teams are included later on in the season. Tournament manager Felix Atusa said the tournament will run for approximately 12 weeks before they head into their finals around December.
Under 20 Friday and Monday. Now I got a grade so was a running long Saturday and Sunday.
He said after 2 years of not playing any games, it's finally good to see young people come back and engage in a sporting event.
Now currently down in 58 teams now capacity pay. Confirm all pay registration fee where me blood charging 1,000 kina lo one team. Now I got all paying this la. So me blood got him 2 blow oval where our Bomanda Police College and me. Also give him me plan and me play using 2 blow oval 1, oval 2.
Round 3 of the Northern Suburban Rugby League will kick off this Friday.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Cement Brook Warriors is a rugby league club established by youths in 9 Mile and has been actively participating in the Northern Suburban Rugby League competition in Bomana. Having played for 4 years in the competition, the team changed its name only recently to Cement Brook Warriors. Many of the players in the team are youth that have dropped out from grade 10 and 12 and have turned into sports to keep them away from illegal activities.
A group of youth 4 years ago came together and formed a rugby league team in 2018 that later changed the name of the team to Cement Brook Warriors, who are actively participating in the Northern Rugby League Suburban Games. According to Captain Ben Kalu, said many of the boys in the team are high school dropouts.
Now I'm planting my girl change. All the girls rugby alright, so now I'm start to play and I'm black field.
He thanked the police for providing the avenue where youths can come together not only to play but to keep them away from illegal activities and to change their mindsets.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
The weather forecast in the next 24 hours in the southern region: Port Moresby City, few showers and thunderstorms; Daru, few showers; Kerema, few showers and thunderstorms; Alotau, brief showers; and Popondetta, some showers and thunderstorms.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Wednesday, the 19th of October, 2022. The replay of the Rugby League World Cup matches between the PNG Kumuls and Tonga at 7 p.m. tonight, straight after the news. Tomorrow, 4:30 a.m., EMTV will telecast live the match between Wales and Cook Island. You can also watch the live stream on our website. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.